Our first match here is going to be Doug Nelson there on the right, who is our #1 seed coming out of Swiss.
Right?
He is playing Blue-Black Reanimator.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Pretty good one. So then in 8th place, his opponent, we've already seen him on camera today, Jeff Overfield, playing Eldrazi.
Snuck in.
Snuck in at 8th.
So,
Now then, the winner of this will play against the winner of Phil Wyatt and Daniel Huang. That's Burn and Elves, respectively. We've already seen Daniel Wang on here with Elves.
and we saw a Burn v. Elves matchup last round.
Sure, did not end well for the Burn deck.
Player after the top deck Craterhoof Behemoth.
Absolutely. Then on the other side of the bracket, we've got Elves versus Sneak and Show, which is going to be Brendan Reagan, the Elves player from the last round, against Ryan Johnson, who is another player that we saw earlier today. And filling out the top 8, the 2 seed, Benjamin Baston on Belcher,
Benjamin Belcher Baston.
playing against Aaron Barger on Omnitel.
All right. So, how many of the top 8 competitors do we get on camera? Do we get 6 out of 8?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 8. Correct.
It's not a bad ratio. I think we did pretty good pickings there.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting pretty good at this.
Yeah. I suppose we had a chance. We had 5 rounds, so we got 10 out of 17 players on.
Sure.
So
Odds are good.
Yeah, I got to run the numbers on that as to whether or not we beat the average.
We're great.
If we just
is
did
basically what the numbers tell me. We are great, wonderful human beings.
Yeah, so the decks were sorted here, so we're going to get some major shuffles going on.
Absolutely. I am most excited to see this Reanimator deck. So he went 3-0.
Yeah.
And then in the 4th round, got paired against someone that we had already seen on camera. I wanted to put him on because he was 3-0. But we went with the other match instead. And then the 4th round, he could just draw.
Right.
So we haven't seen him on. I've been wanting to see this Reanimator list, so I'm pretty excited about this matchup.
Yeah, this Reanimator deck is one of the... It does one of the more powerful things in Legacy. I remember one of these cards used to be banned.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Entomb.
Oh, sure.
Used to be banned in this format.
Absolutely.
And you'll find it to be the linchpin of this deck. If he gets a turn 1 Entomb, turn 2 Reanimate or Animate Dead,
Sure.
you can really do some nasty stuff. But he's against the deck that has 4 Chalice of the Void in the main.
That's true. It would shut off Entomb, Careful Study, Ponder, Brainstorm. He does have Force of Wills, obviously. He's also playing a playset of Dazes
Okay.
and 2 Thought Seizes. So if he's on the play, he's got plenty of protection.
And we know he's on the play because he's undefeated.
Yeah, so there we go.
Top seed this tournament gets the choice every time. And you'd be a damn fool to not choose play.
Certainly.
All right, so they're finding out there's no time, and that's going to. Doug was surprised.
Oh yeah, do I get to choose to go first? Yes.
All right, Doug selected the play.
Keep asking.
The correct call to play here.
Oh yeah,
He is elected correctly to play.
He's chosen to not be a damn fool.
All right, so we're resolving some mulligans. Let's go to the overhead. Here we are.
There we go. You got Lotus Petal, Exhume, Force of Will over there. These are all good cards.
So he's got the protection He's
See
got
if-
the Exhume. I don't know what that blue card is in hand.
It doesn't matter. If it's a blue card, it pitches to Force of Will, and that's what matters.
That's true. But I'm more interested if he has a way to get a fatty in the yard.
Sure.
Eldrazi going to 6.
Uh-oh.
There's a tower of dice somewhere that just fell.
All right.
Working on that all night.
Doug went deep into the tank on his
On his
thinking
cup.
about how this hand is gonna play out.
All right, so let's see what.
So to fix the camera, I don't want it staring at me, actually.
All right.
So what?
Looks
Pretty-
like this Eldrazi deck has some action.
It's got a turn 2 Reality Smasher.
Yeah, that's some action.
Instead of to my shoulder.
So let's see if he finds that to be enough.
It's better than nothing. I don't know if he knows. I'm sure he knows what he's playing against at this point. They don't have the deck lists, but we do.
Yeah, they don't have deck lists, and so Jeff keeps. We're gonna see where Doug's gonna take us.
Rainstorm is the blue card.
All right, here's Pluto Delta.
Nelson in 19. Got to imagine this is going to be a C.
Yep.
Passes on the C. Basic Island.
How do you feel about that Zendikar basic?
I'm fine with it.
All right. He's got the Cup Island. Shuffles it up here. And so this narrows it down. He's going to have Brainstorm as his play. We're not going to we're not going to see any Entombs this game or this
At
turn.
least not this turn. I just got an update that our Omnitel player is up a game. Sorry, our Sneak and Show player is up a game over Elves.
Okay. Good for him.
Good for him. Yeah, this is a really slow shuffle. I think he's thinking while he shuffles.
I hope he is. Alright, here's a careful study. Draws 2, discards 2.
So it looks like we're going to get a Trop in the yard.
And
And
a...
Gristlebrand.
Okay.
Alright,
So
so
he's got turn 2 Exhume.
yeah, Exhume is coming in.
So unless he can figure out how to play Chalice on 2, I don't think it's going to end well. So by
No,
getting...
don't fudge, don't do it.
So by getting the island, what he did was he protected himself against Wasteland.
Sure.
Because if he was Wastelanded there, he wouldn't have been able to go off guaranteed. I think he drew the fetch land.
I mean, he pitched Tropical Island. There's no way he drew the fetch land. Like, he had to have had it. He's also got a Lotus Petal in hand.
Right, I think that's the card I was leaning on mentally.
Oh, okay. Is there a reason to keep the Lotus Petal over the land if you don't have another land?
Because it guarantees you black mana.
Sure.
All right.
And there we
So
have it.
Warping Whale can counterspell Exhume, and Force of Will then targets Warping Whale. So this puts Doug at 17 and puts Gristlebrand into play. All right, gonna go to 10 life and draw 7 cards. All right.
He
So
has
this
an
is
Iona in hand, but that
this is
doesn't do
actually-
anything.
This is actually good because because you want to have a discard step here.
Sure.
All right. So Iona's in the bin. Let's see if we can get a Thought-Knot Seer here.
He
That's-
does have a Thought-Knot Seer.
It's the only thing I can imagine that will put him back in the game is to play Thought-Knot Seer, take the next Reanimate spell, and then play Reality Smasher on his third turn, trying to outpace the damage Gristlebrand's doing. Because if you have Reality Smasher, Thought-Knot Seer, it's 9. Gristlebrand's doing 7.
He has a Reanimate and...
And Exhume.
Oh, the Brainstorming Response.
Alright, so Lotus Petal's in the graveyard. Yeah, he's going to be able to tuck the two Reanimate spells here,
You're probably
right?
fine giving him the Reanimate. Like, you don't want to take 9 mana to play out an Iona that doesn't actually do anything.
Sure. Alright. Oh, man. Tidespout Tyrant?
Man, Tidespout Tyrant would be a good one.
Yep, so he's going to exile that. Alright. Here comes 7 life linking. I don't know that Jeff, even with the Reality Smasher next turn, can get back into the game.
So it stays at 10.
Alright. Doug with another full hand. Looking forward to game 2, Jeff does have 3 Leyline of the Void in his sideboard,
Well, that's pretty solid.
as well as 2 Surgical Extractions and 2 Pithing Needles. So that's a full 7 cards that are really good here.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know Pithing Needles where you want to be, but at least the ley lines and the surgical extractions 100% break up the combo and let you participate in the game way more than he is now.
As for Doug, it looks like he's got an Echoing Truth, which is probably coming in to answer any hate. 3 Abrupt Decays, so that could be an option. But he also has 2 Show and Tells, which I'm sure come in 90% of the time out of the board.
Sure. Alright, here's a Grave Titan for,
Posterity.
posterity and yeah, so Doug just gets to keep a hand of whatever 7 cards in his deck he wants, basically.
Sure. Yeah, he doesn't really need to do any more reanimating. It's just
Yeah.
a matter of time now.
Yeah, it's just a
No
matter
more
of
shuffling, just...
Force of Wills and stuff like that. Yeah, Jeff, you can't win, buddy. You surely I'm not gonna block this Crystal Brand, and one zombie's definitely gonna get through with it. So
You don't know what he's got?
you're correct. He could have land. Simian Spirit Guide, All Is Dust, is the out.
Sure.
So
There's
a
the land.
Temple, or an Ivugan. I'm sorry.
He just
He
play
has
like...
2 All Is Dust in the main.
Taking 2?
There's Reality Smasher.
just got another update that Elves is up again against Burn now, and Omnitel is up again against Belcher.
All right.
All right, so going on to game 2 here. Nice shuffle here in between games. I would expect the Reanimator deck to bring in 2 Show and Tell. Probably a Duress and an Echoing Truth. Duress maybe not so much. That's more for opposing combo or counterspell decks rather. And we already talked about the Eldrazi's plethora of hatred here. But this Reanimator deck can be so low to the ground that you don't really have an opportunity to set up the hate cards. So it should be interesting to see Jeff start here. I think I saw a Sire of Insanity coming in for Doug. That seems pretty good. Yeah, I guess you definitely want to take the Iona out, because that really doesn't do anything. So if you want to keep the same ratio of fatties and reanimation targets, that seems reasonable, as well as the Ashen Rider.
Yeah, totally. Totally seems like a plan.
The hell was that?
I had to go to the bathroom. It was really bad.
So you just abandoned your post
I abandoned my post.
and made all of our listeners listen to the terrible sound of your microphone being put back on your head. You did that.
It's not that bad.
It's awful. It's atrocious.
You're atrocious.
It's a terrible,
You're
terrible
atrocious.
sound. No one should be forced to listen to that.
So, as far as cards that Jeff gets to take out, I would take out the Oblivion Sowers, and the Endbringer opens up 3 spots total.
Sorry, we're berating Taylor back here. Giving him the business.
Yeah, I don't know why I do this. I don't know why I've chosen sitting next to one of the biggest trolls in the city as my hobby.
Biggest troll in the city. Wow.
So, you're not one of the most malicious trolls,
Sure.
but when you do troll somebody,
Oh, yeah.
you put your mind to it.
That's fair.
All right. So, like I was saying, Jeff needs at least 5 spots here.
Mm-hmm.
3 Leyline and 2 Surgical Extraction. So I found 3 in the Oblivion Sowers, the Endbringer. I would also probably take out the one Umazawa's Jite makes 4.
Okay.
And trim on... Man, it's really hard. Trim on Endless One. Put that down from 4 to 3.
Okay.
I mean, it takes off your explosiveness by a small percentage, but I think all of those cards win you the game pretty handily.
All right. You'd rather play Warping Whales in still? You like that card here?
Oh yeah, it counterspells Reanimate, Exhume.
Okay.
I think Careful Study. You know, Show and Tell if he goes that route.
Right. Yeah, it could be interesting.
Sure.
Almost as interesting as...
Doug's shuffling.
Oh, he's blowing on it.
He
Like
holds
an
it.
NES game.
Dust Purple sitting at toughness.
He holds the cards so tightly.
Or I was pretending it
All right. So yes, he did just take 5 minutes to sideboard. 4 minutes of that is shuffling.
We have an all right.
We have a presented deck.
If you were my opponent, I would complain.
Oh yeah.
I used to be afraid to do that kind of stuff, but in my grumpy old age, I really just let people have it anymore.
All right. So I can't really see the Eldrazi player's hand. He does have a ley line. It looks like.
Yes, I see a ley line up there. The uncounterable. Alright, there it is. Turn 0 ley line.
So it's a top 8 match. So there is no slow play.
So there is that's not the case. There is slow play, but there's no clock.
Right.
But you can still get penalized for slow play.
Okay. So we have an 8-card opening hand for the
What?
Reanimator player.
Wait a minute, why does he have 8 cards?
He drew 8 for his opening hand.
Kept an opener of 8 cards.
Oh. Interesting. And he's gained information now. He knows this ley line of the void is in play.
I'm on the draw and I haven't taken my turn. Well, I get it.
We might just be going to game 3 here. I'm not sure what the appropriate line is here.
So
As far as
seeing an extra card is not a big deal, but seeing an extra card and then progressing is.
right.
I thought his thought ceased. Like he just, almost thought ceased. You can see him pick land.
It's cool. Not actually. You don't draw.
All right.
I just played my land. Where you actually kept your hands in everything. Yeah.
Well, it would be. He played his Zeus anyway.
Okay.
And he played the Eldrazi.
Yeah. I played this, played my land. And then you took, since you already passed mulligans, the only thing I can do is you have to reveal your hand. Maybe your opponent picks one for one to be there.
All right. So the solution here is that Jeff gets to select a card out of Doug's hand, and it goes back into the deck
Right.
randomly. I would take this polluted delta here.
Absolutely would take the polluted delta here. Although he has the ponder.
He has He has a ponder and a careful study, so he's gonna draw into other stuff. But even knowing his hand, I mean, I would be writing right now, as well if I were Jeff. You're playing around Force of Will in a Daze. Take this polluted delta, son. This is where you have to be a savage. You just gotta be like, yeah, I'm gonna mana screw you. That's how it is.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely playing sloppy, but I mean, this is the correct punishment on this REL.
All right. So what Jeff left Doug was he can't entomb reanimate because of the ley line of the void. He can, however, cast this ponder to try and get. I'm gonna guess Chain of Vapors, like the most efficient one, is one that gets played the most often in my memory.
It would be Echoing Truth.
Echoing Truth is the out. Return target permanent.
and he only has 1.
Alright. You gotta dig for it.
So ponder first.
Land. I see a gold card.
It's an Ashen Rider. Alright, so Elves has beaten Burn, which means this is Reagan, I believe. Yeah, Brendan Reagan will play the winner of this. And Belcher has lost 2-0 to Omnitel.
Doug's chosen to shuffle from the ponder, much to our dismay. I don't think Doug's the worst kind of player. I've played against him many times. He's a nice guy. I don't ever remember him cheating.
He's just that good at it.
Yeah, he's not trying to gain any kind of advantage. Alright, so Wasteland here. From Jeff.
Doug adds a Force of Will to his hand.
Okay. I wonder if we're going to see
There's Brainstorm.
a Cavern of Souls from Jeff. Brainstorm would be a good one here.
I don't like fetching before you Brainstorm, though.
No, what I would do is I would main phase this Brainstorm right now.
Right, you want to see the most cards possible.
Draws 3 cards. Now I would put this Entomb back very quickly. As fast as I could.
Double Entomb going back on top.
Fantastic. These are actually the most useless cards until you can find an answer. There you go. Alright, so 2 Entombs on top. Here's the fetch land.
Fetch land for basic swamp. Respecting this wasteland.
Right. Trying to peep what he drew there. Couldn't quite identify the card in the flash moment I saw it. Here's a Caracas.
Caracas seems pretty strong.
Caracas is interesting. He's got 2 in the deck. And no real targets in his deck for them. None of these creatures are legendary. So I guess this is this a nod to how good the Reanimator deck is against him? Because
Yeah.
like this Caracas returns Gristlebrand, it returns
Emrakul.
Emrakul. So all these show and tell type decks that just plop these legends into play.
Alright, so we've counterspelled the Chalice of the Void.
All right, Chalice of the Void down.
Careful study.
Just churning through, just seeing how many cards we can see.
Discarding 2 land, it looks like. There it is. And then we have a fetch land here. How do you feel about this fetch? Like, do we just need to fire this off? He has a Brainstorm in hand.
Oh, I would wait. So you have the Force of Will, the only card that
He has another careful study as well, is the thing.
This wasteland looks juicy now. Jeff really respected that show and tell last turn.
Sure.
Because he's got Thought Knot Seer in his hand, which I think he might just cast. Because that's also a great way to play around a show and tell.
Yeah, just take whatever they're going to get.
Right. Yeah, I see City of Traders in hand, so he can actually keep up this wasteland and the Caracas next turn.
Draw 2. It's another Entomb, which I'm sure is getting pitched, and another land.
Entomb, Reanimate get pitched. Alright. So let's see some big ones here, boy.
Blah.
I'm ready to have it, Jeff. There you go.
2. Let's
Guess
see.
the big one.
Here's 2, 4,
Do a big one.
5,
Nope.
4.
Yeah, just pay for it. Just thought. Yeah, there
Thought
you go.
Knot
There you
Seer.
go. Thought Knot Serum. Force Will's fine here. Doug's down to like 3 cards in hand.
Yeah, you just let him see it if you're Doug.
Yeah,
You
you
take
take
the
the
break.
Brainstorm. Not close.
He might be just terrified of this Force of Will.
Alright, Brainstorm out. So we're now on Force of Will, Fetch Land. Yeah, and so Wastelanding the...
Drew another Brainstorm.
That's
Goodness
intense.
gracious.
Wastelanding the Underground Sea here would have been a waste because it still opens up to Show and Tell because he had the extra fetch. So the Wastelands were probably off that plan. Here's the fetch. We're going to crack it to get rid of some cards we didn't want to see.
Another C.
So hopefully Jeff was deciding between Thought Knot Seer and Reality Smasher so that he can just crack in for 9.
Alright, he's past the turn, so he gets some mitigation on the shuffle time here.
Alright. City of Traders in play, so we have to be careful about our triggers here if we're going to play a land.
I already did. I think I told him before.
Do you want to go make sure? I'm just saying. Alright, yeah, so we were careful about the way we tapped there. Made sure the city got tapped before the played our next land. Reality Smasher into play. Swinging for 9. Puts Doug to 7. And so now, now Doug
There.
has 1 turn.
1 turn, and that's it.
1 turn to take us to game 3. Looks at his card and didn't get there.
Looks at some extra cards again.
Yeah. Doug really likes looking at cards. So we have our other semifinal matches are locked up. We're gonna start one and hold one. And hopefully we'll get to see some different action here. Let's get Jeff to present quickly here and get this done. We've had it's kind of been a confusing I don't know about you guys, but I kind of play in a rhythm. When the match gets interrupted a lot by a judge call or like something weird like an 8-card hand happens, it messes with my rhythm. And so I really like to sideboard efficiently, get my deck presented, and not to rush my opponent, but make sure he knows that we're gonna respect each other's time here. Jeff's chosen to do that. Here he is, presenting, ready to rock and roll. Doug's still sideboarding. Let's look here, see if I can figure it. Oh, I apologize for that, guys. I moved a microphone. That was my fault. See if I can figure out what Doug might be thinking about. He's got, so Echoing Truth was definitely in there. I can't see any. I mean, I can't see any other cards that are going to aid Doug in beating a Leyline of the Void on turn 0 like that. So it's really up to Jeff. I think his sideboard plan is better than Doug's is. It's more proactive in beating the deck he's up against.
Certainly, but Reanimator is a much more
It's
proactive deck here on the play.
Concur. It's a resilient deck.
Now that he knows that Leyline is the hate card of choice here, he can kind of play around that a little bit as well.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of choices to be made before turn 0.
Yep.
I'm just saying, if Jeff's got the Leyline, he's got the
Hold
Leyline.
on. Congrats. If this was Dragon Ball Z, it would have been much more entertaining than what we're watching now.
Yeah, man.
So the next match that we have on deck, and the reason I stepped away for a second, is Omnitel versus Sneak and Show.
Uh-huh.
That's the semifinals that's going to be coming immediately after this match.
All right.
And then if Doug makes it to the finals, I will inform him that he has to scream like he's powering up while he shuffles. Just to make this more Dragon Ball Z-esque for you.
Yeah, I just did a timer on how long Doug shuffled while his opponent had presented. It was almost 2 minutes.
149 seconds is more...
That's a minute 49.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's
Seriously, I can't counter that.
All right, another turn 0 ley line from Jeff.
and I like his chances here. I hope Jeff gets some action.
I like Doug, but I do hope he loses.
No, Doug Nelson's a great human being. Nothing against him. Just shuffle less, play more.
Nice and thoroughly shuffled here.
5, 6. I'm just counting the overhands. All right, 6. We'll see if he goes beyond 6. There's a ponder.
Oh, please be in there.
We find it. We find our echoing truth.
There's no egging truth. It's Brainstorm Ponder Land. Keeps the Brainstorm. He's going to draw the fetch land, I believe it was.
All right.
So next turn we'll have Brainstorm plus fetch land plus Ponder, probably.
Here's Jeff's turn 1. Come on, Chalice. Here's Ancient Tomb. Is that a chalice in his hand?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just run it out there? Here's the thing. If he's going to force will your chalice, great. You get to cast Thought Nuts your next turn.
Sure.
If he's not, even better.
I guess he could daze it.
He could daze it, I guess.
That's literally what I just said.
Yeah, I was just repeating in like a confirming fashion.
Oh, I see. So we do have the show and tells in. You can see that much at least.
So I wonder if Jeff's playing so he can keep his Warping Whale active.
Entirely possible.
Because you do have to be conscious of Lotus Petal, show and tell. Get you.
Three. 4.
Five. 5 shuffles. Ha, 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 ha.
6.
6 overhand shuffles. Ha, 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 ha.
7.
7 overhand shuffles. Ha, ha, ha.
I hope it doesn't increase by 1 each time.
No, that would be miserable.
Ponder.
Let's see if he chooses to keep him on top.
Oh, these are getting shuffled. Oh, man.
Alright, alright. 1 overhand shuffle. Ha, 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 ha. 2 overhand shuffles. Ha, ha, ha. 3 overhand shuffles. 4 overhand shuffles. Ha, 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 ha. 5 overhand shuffles. 6 overhand shuffles. Ha, 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 ha. 7 overhand shuffles. Ha, 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 ha. 8 overhand shuffles.
Stop!
9!
Stop.
Stop him. Stop him.
Stop this man.
Somebody needs to tell Scott. Like, I mean,
We're
we're
up
on
to
11.
10 overhand shuffle.
All right.
Somebody has to stop this man.
Kill me, then the commentators. I agree.
Please.
Kill me. I hope 11 shuffles hype. All right. Here's a Cavern of Souls. Name's Eldrazi.
What's that? Alright, so 2 life and a black for a Matter Reshaper.
Matter Shaper. All right. So he just, I mean, I guess he doesn't have the Warping Will. Then he just didn't want to run the Chalice into the Force of Will.
Maybe he just doesn't value it very highly.
In which case, I would have just cast it or just been out there.
He does have the show and tell.
So we're just hunting a creature. Any big baddie will do. Alright. We're going to discard a Daze and another Careful Study, it looks like. There's a Swamp. There's a Lotus Petal. And here comes the Lotus Petal into the graveyard. Alright.
So we're
This
going to have
isn't
a
gonna end well
Grave
for
Titan. So Grave Titan's not the end of the world, especially since you have a Thought Answer to put in here.
Okay.
Also Reality Smasher.
Right. Interesting. So if Jeff's Jeff puts in Thought Nutser here, gets a good look at the hand, and then plays a Reality Smasher, he has put up as much of a board as Doug has. He chooses Urborg. I can't get behind a lot of the choices Jeff's made in this game. I don't think he understands how quickly he's gonna die.
No respect for this Grave Titan.
What are we trying to do? What do you just? This needs to be impressive.
So I think he drew an Oblivion Sower.
Okay. Are we gonna cast all his dust? So Oblivion Sower could be it's a 5/8
He has all his dust in the main. We don't know if
if he left it in for the sideboarding.
could he be thinking of doing Chalice for 3 here?
What?
Could that be the plan?
I mean, I can't with. Alright, if you want to play Oblivion Sower, fine. You got me. Alright, Oblivion Sower. Sure. So he's going to come into play. He's going to get 4 lands from the top of Doug's deck.
4 cards from the top.
Or
of
4
Doug's deck.
cards from the top of Doug's deck. And then he gets to put all lands that are exiled into
Sure.
play.
Top 4. And then
All lands, any lands from exile.
Alright, so he's going to get some fetches here that probably don't fetch anything for him.
But they tap for black mana because he has Urborg.
Okay.
So we got 4 lands off of that.
So I guess he could cast Chalice for 2.
I don't think that really does much here.
And neither do I. Alright. Chalice for 1 earns the Force of Will. And now we're just going to look at each other for a while, because Oblivion Sower can block the Grave Titan. And if he throws the Matter Reshaper in there as well, the Grave Titan's going to die, leaving Doug with 4 zombie tokens, which I think the Oblivion Sower are going to mop up pretty quick.
Well, he kills the Oblivion Sower and the Matter Shaper.
No.
Yes, yes, yes.
The Grave Titan is a 6/6.
With Death Touch.
Oh.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. So, Matter Reshaper's going to jump in front of the Grave Titan. Jeff's probably going to get another land, which he'll love.
mark them all down.
Oh, does the Leyline of the Void affect Jeff's cards as well? I don't think so.
No, it doesn't.
Yep.
Alright, so Lotus Petals are going to be countered.
If Jeff remembers.
Jeff announces his triggers, they will be. Alright. So he's got a Reality
He
Smasher
has all his dust in hand.
and all his dust in hand. So I think you can win. So Doug has 1 card in hand, right? I
Yes.
think you can win the game.
Is this in play, actually?
Alright, we have a missed trigger.
You can play a land? Judge, question.
Alright, so we're checking whether or not the Oblivion Sower's lands are going to blow up the City of Traders, or if it uses the special action to play a land.
Oblivion Sower City of Traders. Does he still get a City of Traders?
I'm sorry, what now?
Oblivion
City of
Sower.
Traders, yeah.
Okay,
I got these up.
okay. Alright, so, okay, so, these were, all 4 of those were exiled for this, okay? Okay. Okay.
And so,
I'm going to check you off the text on that. Can we get an off the text on City Traders?
so the City of Traders reads when you play a land.
If it's as it's written,
Right.
then this is asking for it to be played, not be put into play.
Right, and so the Oblivion Sower reads put those lands into play.
Another land, sacrifice City of Traders.
There you go.
What is the concern?
Oblivion Sower is allowing him to put them into play, correct, as opposed to
That's fine. Yeah, you have these lands. Yeah, have
All right, so he keeps the City of
Keeps
Traders.
everything.
First note, the City of Traders does not trigger on lands that are put onto the battlefield without playing.
All right. So playing a land is a different action than putting a land into play.
Correct. And
All right.
that is the judge's conclusion as well.
All right. So what he can do here is, I think he wins the game if he casts all his dust and destroys his own Leyline of the Void,
Well, you got like 3 touches.
Okay.
because the Grave Titan's going to exile,
Actually, I have 4.
and so Doug would have to get
Started one of them, but I thought-
Doug would have to both get a creature into his graveyard and then reanimate it, or just have a creature in a show and tell.
Sure. If he has another soul land, he can go all his dust, Reality Smasher, and then have like a super fast clock.
Yeah, I mean, that would be 2 turns. Or Doug would get 1 more turn. 2 goes to 12. There you go. You got it. I believe in you. Alright. This is all his dust. And so the Leyline of the Void's going to count here. Alright. And so now I think he has another City of Traders in play, in hand.
There you go.
Alright, play the land. That one dies. Yep. 2, 3, 4. Alright, 10. And Doug gets 1 more
Goes
turn
7-7.
here.
So 1 draw. Let's make it count. Exhume.
Zoom, but he has no
Not
graveyard.
Gonna cut it.
Alright, there we go.
And that
Eldrazi
is
beats
game.
the shuffling menace of Doug Nelson. Love Doug Nelson. He just shuffles too much.
Indeed. All right. So
All right.
we're